Chief Justice of India from the selection panel appointing Chief Election Commissioner. Government went on to pass Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Act 2023 to remove Chief Justice of India from the selection panel. The leader of the opposition is prevalent to the selection panel. But why Chief Justice of India has been removed from the panel? They wanted to bring the Chief Justice of India as part of the selection panel is to establish independence. The act has turned on its head the legislative intent of Article 324(2) of the Constitution of India. We have to wait and watch what will be the outcome in the days to come in the apex court, that is the Supreme Court of India. My dear friends, before the Supreme Court of India, there is a plea challenging appointing Kumar as the Chief Election Commissioner. My dear friends, this has come in the light of questioning Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Act 2023. If you see this act, CEC Act, shortly we call it as CEC Act 2023, we can have certain observations from the act. In fact, before this act came, Supreme Court ruled saying in the selection panel of the Chief Election Commissioner, Chief Justice of India should be there. But however, there is an act that passed. However, the act was passed overruling the judgment of the Supreme Court. The act is nothing but Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Act 2023, where they removed Chief Justice of India from the selection panel appointing Chief Election Commissioner. In fact, when the Supreme Court came out with the judgment, the entire reason they wanted Chief Justice of India to be there as part of the selection panel was to ensure that there is an independence in the selection of Election Commissioner. But government went on to pass Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Act 2023 to remove Chief Justice of India from the selection panel, and now Election Commissioner has been appointed. Chief Election Commissioner has been appointed recently, and accordingly this matter has become a very important point to be taken up at the Supreme Court. In fact, according to the act, if you see the act, that is CEC Act 2023, it says very clearly election commissioners are selected by a committee consisting of the Prime Minister, Union Cabinet Minister and leader of the opposition or the leader of the largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha. Point to be noted here is even the leader of the opposition is prevalent to the selection panel. But why Chief Justice of India has been removed from the panel is the question to be noted. So this question has taken up different forms, and in fact recently Lok Sabha MP Maho Maitra has approached the Supreme Court in support of the petition challenging the constitutionality of the Chief Election Commissioner, Other Election Commissioners Act 2023, which removed Chief Justice of India from the selection panel appointing election commissioners. In fact, in the context of this issue, if you see section 7 of the act, you can very well see that it allows executive domination selection committee to constitute the EC by recommending appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners. In fact, I quote the exact words. In doing so, the impugned act allows the executive to influence the composition of the EC and defeats the now well-established principle of free and fair election, which requires an insulated, non-partisan, fiercely independent EC to conduct and supervise the election process. In fact, by Supreme Court when they ruled, the entire reason they wanted to bring the Chief Justice of India as part of the selection panel is to establish independence in selection of election commissioners. But whereas when the Parliament passed this act, CEC Act 2023, the entire reason why they wanted to remove, what we can see from the act, section 7 of the act, is that the Chief Justice of India has been conveniently removed by the act. So accordingly, this question has come before the Supreme Court. In fact, the point to be noted here is, it is further claimed that by making what we can see is executive dominated selection committee, the act has turned on its head the legislative intent of Article 324(2) of the Constitution of India. My dear friends, if you go through Article 324 Clause 2 of the Constitution of India, it is a very important point to be noted here. Article 324 deals with, for the benefit of the listeners, it is very important to note what is Article 324 in first place. In fact, it is covered under Part 15, elections. In that, if you see Article 324, it talks about superintendence, direction and control of election to be vested in an election commission. Under that, there is Clause 2. In Clause 2, it provides the election commission shall consist of, in Article 324, Clause 2 provides for, the election commission shall consist of Chief Election Commissioner and such number of other election commissioners, if any, as the president may from time to time fix, and the appointment of the chief election commissioner and other election commissioners shall, subject to the provisions of any law made in that behalf by parliament, be made by the president. That is what article 354 2 provides for. So accordingly, what we need to see here is the act has turned the legislative intent into an executive appointed position. I would also want to bring your attention to which provides that the appointment of the CEC and EC will be made by the president. That is, I quote the exact words, subject to the provisions of any law made in that behalf by the parliament. Accordingly, subject to the provisions of any law made in that behalf by the parliament was inserted as a measure of constitutional safeguard against executive abuse. Accordingly, what need to be noted is that the act was also passed not taking into consideration many of the members who were absent in the Lok Sabha at that point of time. Now, the petition challenging the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner has come before the Supreme Court. We have to wait and watch what will be the outcome in the days to come in the apex court, that is the Supreme Court of India. Let's all wait for the same. There are certain recommendations which can be drawn from the writ petitions filed by various applicants in the Supreme Court. If you see the first recommendation that they have provided, there should be a fair, non-executive dominated selection procedure for the CEC or EC, that is the Election Commissioner, and accordingly, that the selection panel be comprised by the Prime Minister, Chief Justice of India, Leader of the Opposition as stipulated by the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court in Anup Baranwal versus Union of India. Second, that the selection panel include only the Prime Minister and the Leader of Opposition or Leader of the largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha as the decision by consensus by the Leader of the ruling government, and the opposition will ensure that the person selected is not partisan to either and would also prevent any lobbying of judicial functionaries by keeping the CJ out of the appointment process. This is the second recommendation. Third, that the names recommended by the selection panel for the post of CEC and EC be approved by 2/3 of the majority of the parliament, so that there is a material legislative supervision and even members of the oppositions are on board with the recommendations made. My dear friends, this is a prayer provided by many of the writ petition that has been filed challenging the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner. Accordingly, what we need to see is these are all the recommendation or the prayer as part of the writ petition, but we have to wait and see what will be the outcome in the Supreme Court in the days to come. Today the matter got adjourned and we have to see when the matter will be listed. Probably it is said that it will be listed on March 19 and we have to wait and watch. Thank you.